Good morning everyone, today I want to share with you the one camera accessory that will save your gear, your photos, and it's free. Let's go! Oh god, that video still to this day is breaking my heart. It's god, it's absolutely crazy. Welcome to a new episode, guys. Today I want to share with you something I've been wanting to share with you for a very long time. I'm actually trying to convince all my friends of it. It's simply, there is one camera accessory and it's free and we all get it usually, unless you throw it in your trash right when you get the box, that we don't use, that might actually save your gear and your photos for different reasons. One of them is going to be like, it's kind of like doing unprotected photography if you don't use it, and well, you might get effects in your photos that you don't want, that you can avoid if you use it. So what is it? Maybe you already have an idea, but before we get started, before I share with you, I want to ask you something, because I learned something crazy the other day. Apparently only 25% of you guys are subscribed to the channel when you watch it. It means the world to me. If you want more free content, if you want more of those awesome videos, please invite everyone to subscribe and make sure, that's very important and it means the world to me, make sure you hit the notification bell if you do subscribe, because YouTube is not pushing out the videos if you don't put the notification bell. So it's almost like subscribing is not important if you don't hit the notification bell. All right, let me grab that item while you guys finish subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna get all the photography tutorials and everything that you've seen so far. Got it. It's here, right here. Do you see it? Can you see it? Have you guessed what I'm talking about? It's this piece of plastic is like an insurance for your gear. It's an awesome flare counter effect. It puts ghosts away. It does absolutely everything. Now, for some reason, a ton of people don't use it. So before I show you why I love it and why I think you might want to be trying to use it, let me know in the comments if you do use it right now or not. All right, let's get started. Why should you be using it? Well, as you might remember, I actually dropped my camera in the Maldives and it hit the floor. It broke the lens, it broke the filter, it broke my heart a little bit also, and I had to repair the lens. And that was one of the very few times where I didn't use my lens hood on the camera. I had to put the filter on and forgot to put the lens hood back on. The whole thing dropped, it crashed and broke. With the lens hood, that would have not happened. The lens hood is actually protecting from impact. And the fun fact is that every time I don't use it, that's when something bad happens to a lens. I had one in a backpack one day with the camera. I thought the day before, oh, you know what, I'm not gonna put the lens hood because it takes too much space, it's not great. Next thing you know, I arrive on the train platform, boom, the camera drops out of the backpack, the backpack opens and bam, shattered the UV filter and distorts the ring. So absolutely bonkers. Try to use it if you want to protect your gear. If you don't have insurance, this is like a free insurance for your lens. On top of that, if you've ever been walking around with gear, you might know that, especially if you're using a camera sub, it happens a lot that the camera dangles either when you're leaning forward or on the side or whatever, and when that happens, boom, it hits a lot of times any kind of objects, and that is kind of a very good insurance policy from anything bad happening to your lens. Imagine if you don't have the lens hood, the thread right here is receiving the shock, and in the worst cases, it's actually on the glass. So yeah, I mean, why would you not use one, right? We'll dig into that after. But if it rains, if there is fog or whatever, it avoids the rain from dripping straight onto the lens, which is great because it allows you to shoot when it's drizzling or when it's raining and still not having your lens dirty. Because if you ever try to shoot in an environment with a ton of water in the air, let me tell you, it gets difficult, especially by waterfalls. You've got water dripping on that front element all the time and you have to wipe it, and by the time you're done wiping, it's... Anyway, we've already got some good reasons to use it, but now there is something more, which is actually around using your camera. When you're taking photos or videos, there is an effect that we call flare, which is simply when, let me show you, which is simply when you have a direct source of light hitting the lens directly, you've got, like, you know, all those dots, etc. That's a very cool effect to have, but in some cases you might not want to have it, simply because it also reduces a ton the contrast. When direct light hits your lens, with an angle like that, for example, you get some kind of ghosting happening in that image, and it actually drops the contrast. I'm showing you a few examples for you to understand what I'm talking about, and having a lens hood on will actually help you have more contrast and more punchy colors even while having direct light hitting on the side, because instead of having an angle that is that low when it's gonna hit directly and having the flare effect, well, it's actually only gonna happen when you are about here, which is super important. Look at that. I have a lens hood on that 24mm right now, and if I'm higher, you don't see it, and if I'm lower, you see it. But if I didn't have the lens hood, you would come super close to it and still have that effect. So that's something you want to keep in mind, especially if you're trying to have a lot of contrast in your images. And if you're shooting architecture, for example, if you're shooting people or street photography and you don't understand why you have that washed out feeling when you're shooting at sunset or sunrise or when your light is hitting the lens, that is why. So you could, like, technically you could just put your hand in front of it and that would help a ton. That's what I do actually when I shoot with my phone sometimes. Since there is no lens hood here, I actually just put my hands around and it makes the photo a lot nicer and a lot more contrasty. Now, I gotta say that there are sometimes I also, just like you maybe, I search for that effect because I kind of like the faded look of it, and also having the lens flare looks really cool. Now there is a reason why a lot of people don't use lens hoods. And I think one of the biggest reasons is simply because, let's be honest, lens hoods are big, right? They take a lot of space. The wider the lens, the lower that lens hood. But I gotta say, having that on top of your big lens in your backpack is a real hassle. Yes, I agree with you, but I dropped my camera in New York, maybe you remember. Holy crap, you saw it happen? I just dropped the camera, it just fell off the stupid tripod, oh my god. And oh god, I had the lens hood on, the lens hood literally shattered right here, it cracked open, I just taped it, I know it's a very bad fix, but it saved the lens one more time, and it dropped from really high, from like that high. I was holding the camera like that, and boom, the whole camera dropped with the lens hood. And thank God it saved it a second time. At the end of the day, guys, if you're like me and you're working hard to buy your gear and you want to use it for a long time, putting that little piece of plastic in your pocket or in your bag might actually save you a lot of money in the long run and a lot of pain also. Because if I had it on my lens in the Maldives, I could have been able to shoot more content after, and I had to stop because the lens was just... Anyway, the whole story is in a different video, but I really wanted to share that video with you guys because lens hoods are very dear to my heart. I've been using them ever since bad things happened to me, and I always try to put it back on. Now, I want to know if you're like me or if you're actually like some of my friends who are literally stacking lenses in their bag like that. No lens hood, no lens cap, nothing like that. I'm like, oh, my OCD self is like, oh no, it's gonna be dirty. I hate dirty glass. I hate dirty mirrors. Glass has to be super shiny and clean, otherwise I go crazy. So guys, let me know in the comments. I wanna hear a little bit more about you. And quick update, made it back from Mexico. I will be shooting a little bit more with the 85mm 1.8 here in Chicago. I want to give you a full review of it, if it's worth it or not to get it, what I think about it and how you can use it. Remember I told you I'm gonna have like 5 tips for shooting telephoto lenses? Well, it's gonna come up very soon, so that's a great reason to subscribe. If you love the free content, please make sure you do. And remember, hit that notification bell. It's gonna make a huge dong anyway. It's gonna be awesome. And well, I think we're done. I think we reached the end of this video. Guys, get out there, go shoot, try something different, try something new. I will see you on the next episode. And if you haven't watched it yet, please go watch the challenge I did with my wife in Mexico. I think it was a fun one. Thank you guys for the support. I love you. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.